Hello there, my name is Amanda and I do host this show on Magic One every Sunday at 6 p.m. Are you interested in wellness? Are you interested in nutrition and how you can improve your eating habits, how you can improve your feeding lifestyle? Then this show is for you. So let's head right into the show. Very warm welcome. So starting us off as usual is the food throne. Today let's look at eggs. Eggs are globally consumed. It's like the go-to food for breakfast, for when you don't have what to eat. Most people will run to eggs. I remember growing up, I had a brother who would eat like 8 eggs in the morning. He was such a fan of eggs. They were easy, they were tasty. Yes. So eggs, what's nutritious about them? First of all, if you want to improve your brain health, then eggs are going to provide something called choline for you, which helps with neurotransmitting, and so you're able to send messages and coordinate messages through your brain to the rest of your body quite well. Eggs also have very good quality protein. They are actually deemed as one of the most nutritious foods because they supply you with all the essential amino acids. That's a type of category of proteins that you need for your body system. So you can see how nutritious eggs are. Eggs also are very, very nutritious because you can eat practically every part of the eggs. Even the eggshells can be eaten if you're able to make a powder out of it, and you'll gain some calcium from there. So eggs are so nutritious, it's so hard to describe, but I know you understand what I mean by now. Now, eggs can also be something that you might be allergic to. So you might want to put that into consideration also. And then also eggs are easily contaminated. So when you get your eggs, try and store them well in your homes so that they are not exposed to a lot of humidity or moisture and water. And also, they are kept in a clean place because they can easily also absorb, microbes which can cause illnesses. So that's about it for eggs. Maybe one last thing is, as you choose your eggs, try and choose those that have been raised on, from chicken that are, free range, because then those are packed with more nutrients. Also, from eggs we can get cholesterol. I know we talk about cholesterol and most people talk about it and say, it's a bad thing, that we should avoid it. But cholesterol is very necessary for your body system, and so you definitely should have it, not in excess. So eggs will provide you with that cholesterol as well. Eggs are a hero. You have to have them at some point in your diet. The discussion room is definitely next on our agenda. Starting us off is Frank, and Frank asks, what are the do's and don'ts as far as nutrition is concerned? I beg of you, don't be too stringent. When you become too stringent, you'll create room for fear of food. So you'll think, you'll practically feel like everything is bad, you'll be too cautious, and you'll not even enjoy the journey of eating. And yet that's not what food was intended for. It was supposed to be pleasurable as it feeds our bodies and nourishes us. So don't be too stringent. I'm not saying don't behave. Behavior and discipline is definitely the bedrock for you having a healthier body and a healthier lifestyle. So just try and create habits that you can sustain and maintain. Make them as practical as possible, for your lifestyle, your particular lifestyle, and you'll find that you are more healthy and also feeling more fulfilled and not too strained. So yes, that's about it, Frank. Otherwise, some of the do's and don'ts that I totally root for, I have put down on the Facebook page. For those that are wondering what the Facebook page name is, it's Amanda Twebaze Nutritionist. And then also you can go down to my other social media platforms because I'm all about the wellness, I'm all about the health. I actually do post content there. You can head down to my nutrition YouTube channel. The name is Amanda Twebaze Nutritionist. On WhatsApp, that's how people are sending these inquiries in, and even via email, so you can do the same. On WhatsApp, the number is 0782 152610. My email, amanda.chichoncho@gmail.com. If you're an Instagram person, then you'll find my handle @foodwitness. So that's it. Let's head into our second question. The second question came in from someone anonymous, and they were saying, my son developed diarrhea and vomiting, and we took him for a full blood count and found nothing. He had recently been diagnosed and cured of typhoid. I was forced to take him for a scan because the vomiting did not stop. And I was told he's okay, but might be anemic. what foods would you recommend for him to get more blood? Because I don't want him to have much chemicals in his system this early. Yes, I'm so glad that you want to also do more natural remedies, but do not forget to incorporate your medical guidance from your doctors as well, because these are children, and pediatricians can see signs that sometimes we can't see as the layman. So it's important that you let them check them out, especially if you see really red flags that you need to just be keen to. Anyway, so when we're looking at anemia and trying to get iron sources, because that's the deficiency that brings on the anemia, it's either vitamin B12 or iron. So looking at the sources for this iron, the ones that are more usable by the body, if you really want to provide enough iron for this young man to be able to utilize much more easily in his body, then look out for the iron that comes from animal sources as opposed to those that come from plant sources. I'm not saying the ones in plant sources are bad, but they take a while longer, and they also, there is a bit of difficulty with them being absorbed in the body system. So use the ones more that come from animal sources, for example, liver, for example, kidney, for example, even meat itself, lean meat. Yes, so just give them those as well. And then you can interchange once in a while with the plant sources. Also, you might want to have some vitamin C foods, like fruits and vegetables, because iron is more absorbed if there is vitamin C present. And then for vitamin B12, like we talked about, you might want to go into having nuts and cereals, breakfast cereals. That would really help for your son to treat or manage this anemia that seems to be causing issues. Let's go into our third question. The third question comes in from Rowati, and Rowati says, does intermittent fasting work? I always fail diets and everyone is suggesting this to me. Now, if you're looking at intermittent fasting, it's a popular one. It has worked for some people, and for others it has not, because it might not be something that you can sustain. Usually there are different types that you can undertake, but it's not something that you can easily put into a normal lifestyle and live for a very long period of time. And so that's why these seem to fail, because you do it for a particular period. Say you do intermittent fasting for the next 3 months and you lose some good weight, and then by the time 3 months are done, you cannot keep up with intermittent fasting because it's too drastic, and you start seeing some signs like deficiencies in your body, or maybe general body weakness that is requiring for you to start eating. So you go back into eating, and then the body just starts blowing up again. So the problem really comes with the sustenance method for this or the sustenance choice for these diets. So I would advise that try and look out for the different types of intermittent fasting, and then you can use a bit of the components of the intermittent fasting that can fit into your normal lifestyle, and then generally more look out for eating more healthy. So try and eat things that nourish the body other than put burden and excess toxin on the body, because those are the main sources of our weight gain. So if you can balance eating generally healthy with a bit of intermittent fasting, then that might be great. For example, you could just do 1 day of fasting out of the week periodically, and that would help a lot. So I hope that helps you, Rowati. Mr. Mumbere is now asking, next, I need you to help with good nutrition for HIV and TB because the patient has lost body and skin. Yes, Mr. Mumbere, of course, these are some of the effects or side effects that we see from these illnesses, sometimes if they've been caught on late, or just by the prolonged illnesses that people might be suffering. But in terms of nutrition, to try and improve or enhance their appearance and their lean mass, you might want to think of supplements as well. I know we advocate for eating natural foods as fresh as possible. That's totally the best way, and I still would advise that you give him natural foods, but supplements are not always bad. In cases especially where there is a disease that has gone to a severe mode, you need some quick fix. You need something that is going to rescue the situation as quickly as possible before it goes way out of hand. And that is why it's important to, at this point, probably add in some supplements, probably add in some protein shakes for this particular patient, so that they are able to, you know, quickly utilize this protein and build up some muscle, you know, have some fat stored in their bodies, and, you know, improve their health at the end of the day. So I would advise that you know, find out supplements also on top of good foods that, you know, that are naturally occurring and still support better health for this kind of patient. I've put down the foods down on the Facebook page, so head down there and you'll get to know more. Our last question is now coming in from Shafiq. Shafiq says, how reliable is steaming using Mentho Plus? First of all, steaming, let's agree, please, let's just agree as partakers that steaming should not be done frequently. Yes, it's very relieving. Yes, it, you know, helps us incorporate these therapeutic, you know, foods or herbs into our bodies, but it's also very intense. And remember, your body is not as hard as the outside side of your body. The inside of your body is not as hard as that. It's actually made up of soft tissue, so you don't want to damage those. And that is why steaming should not be done frequently. It should also not be done with very many herbs, you know, to make a whole concoction. So just do, let's accept to do, you know, moderation. Let's keep moderate amounts of this steaming, and also the timings that we do it, so that it doesn't end up becoming another added problem instead of actually being therapy for us. So yeah, I think that should help you, Shafiq. But on Mentho Plus is, you know, the active ingredient is mentho, which comes from these plants like mint that we see. So mentho really helps us to feel relieved by feeling like we are cooling off. So even when you have a headache, if you use mint, you'll find that there's a bit of relief that you feel. So Mentho Plus helps us in that aspect, but I don't think it might necessarily help you to breathe better. Yeah, so just for relief and, you know, the other added benefits that, you know, mentho or mints have, you might want to use it, but not frequently. Okay, so we're going to go into the take of the week now. So the take of the week is definitely one of the most popular opinions on the Facebook page during the week. So you might want to make your opinion popular as well, and let's read it and learn from you by heading down there. Facebook page name is Amanda Twebaze, nutritionist. Anyway, so the take of the week was really a response from Mr. Byron Joel, who responded to a question that was asked: what was the longest period of time that you ever went on a diet? And he says, I think you could have tapped a bit more into the fact that lifestyle ultimately affects the type of diet that is viable for an individual. This is a very important point. I think Byron is pretty intelligent, because, you know, each individual lives out a different lifestyle. So you have to be as realistic as possible. What actually works in your daily? What works in your day-to-day, in your routine? So if you want to just copy and paste what you see someone else doing, you might find that you'll not catch up. You might find that you'll have zero results. So when you're choosing a diet, always factor in what kind of lifestyle you actually live. What is possible and what's not? What is affordable and what's not? What's accessible and what's not? All right? So thank you, Byron Joel. That was really important. I am going to leave you with a wellness quote now, and then I'll say an official bye-bye. So our wellness quote comes in, it's actually an Arabian proverb, and it says, he who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. I hope this shows you how important health is. Like, health is a priority up there. If you want to be wealthy, health has to be first. So here they say, if you have health, then you have hope to be better for the future. You have hope to succeed. You have hope to be wealthy. You have hope to be relevant and impactful and leave a legacy and do a great purpose on this earth. So if you're not healthy, then you might be sacrificing, you know, your wealth. You might be sacrificing the better things to come in the future. And that is why they say, if you have health, then you definitely have hope. And if you have hope, you are the most incredible human being on earth. So if you have hope, you have everything. Hope gets us to the places that we never imagined or dreamed of. So that was our Arabian proverb. It's now time to say bye. So So your take time is done. I believe it was meaningful for you, because for me, it was essential that I do this and just spend time with you. Let me know down on my social media platforms. I want to say a special thank you today to my very unique cameraman today. And also, really, for Magic One TV, you know, that airs this show, it's really important that we talk about things that matter, not just things that are, you know, vain and of vanity, but, you know, the things that really affect us in our day-to-day lives. So until next week, do remember that wellness is an adventure. Stick to Magic One. There's going to be a My Ride show. There's going to be the inspirational show with Naomi Mutoni. There's going to be so much. I am so appreciative for local content on Magic One TV. So until next week, I'll see you. Bye-bye.